if you've been feeling off lately, like your motivation disappeared, your focus slipped, and every small task feels heavier than it should. This video is for you, because the truth is, when your performance starts to drop, it's not just about being lazy or unmotivated. It's usually your mind's way of saying something's wrong. So today, we're going to dive deep, not into quick fixes or hacks, but into what's really happening inside your brain and body when you can't perform the way you used to. And by the end, you'll know exactly how to reset yourself, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Soft background music fades in, calm piano or ambient tone. Intro. We live in a world that worships performance. Everyone's chasing results, speed, and productivity. But few people stop to ask, what happens when you can't keep up anymore? When the drive that once pushed you starts to fade? When your mornings feel heavier and your goals feel distant? When even rest doesn't feel like rest anymore? If that sounds like you, you're not broken. You're not lazy, you're simply human. And the good news? There's a way back. But to understand it, we have to start where all performance begins. Not with your body, not even with your habits, but with your mind. Section 1. The psychology of performance. Every action you take, every goal you chase, starts with one simple thing. Energy. And energy isn't just physical, it's mental clarity, emotional stability, and biological balance. Think about it. When you're mentally drained, even simple things like replying to a text or opening your laptop can feel exhausting. But on days when you're in flow, when your energy feels aligned, you can achieve more in an hour than some people do in a week. That's because performance isn't a skill, it's a state. It's not about forcing yourself to do more. It's about learning how to return to that state of focus and confidence whenever you need it. Transition. So, why do we lose that state? Why do we suddenly wake up one day feeling like we've lost our edge? To answer that, we need to understand what drains performance in the first place. Section 2. The hidden energy leaks. Most people think burnout comes from overworking, but often it comes from under-recovery. You see, every decision, every piece of information you process uses energy. Scrolling, comparing yourself, worrying about the future, they all drain your mental battery. Imagine your brain like a phone. Even when you're not using it, background apps are running. Notifications, messages, silent comparisons to people online. Over time, those small leaks drain your energy, leaving you too tired to perform when it really matters. The result? You feel guilty for not doing enough, which drains you even more. It's a cycle. Fatigue, arrow, guilt arrow, more fatigue. But here's the thing. You can't perform well if your mind is constantly under threat. And in our modern world, stress is that invisible threat. Transition. So how do you stop the leaks? How do you reclaim your focus, your energy, your drive? Let's start with the simplest and most overlooked solution. Section 3. Rest isn't laziness. True rest isn't lying in bed scrolling on your phone. It's not escaping your thoughts with Netflix. It's giving your nervous system permission to breathe again. There are 3 levels of rest. Physical rest, sleep, stretching, stillness. Mental rest. No stimulation, no planning, no screens. Emotional rest. Time away from people and expectations. Most people only ever get physical rest. They sleep, but they wake up mentally exhausted. Why? Because their mind never stopped running. To perform again, you have to let yourself stop first. Sometimes your body doesn't need more caffeine. It needs quiet. It needs permission to be still, without guilt. Pause for effect. And it's in that stillness, that performance begins to rebuild itself. Section 4, the comeback formula. When you've lost your spark, rebuilding performance happens in stages. Let's call it the comeback formula. 3 steps to restart your inner engine. Step 1. Reconnect performance starts with awareness. Ask yourself, what have I been ignoring? It could be sleep, purpose, nutrition, or emotions. Find the leaks. Keep a performance log for 3 days. Write how you feel. Morning, afternoon, night. You'll start to notice patterns. Maybe you crash after lunch. Maybe your focus is sharp at 10 a.m. When you see your rhythm, you can work with it, not against it. Step 2, reset. Once you know your patterns, simplify everything. Delete the unnecessary. Say no more often. Your focus can't perform if it's divided among 20 things. Remember, a lion doesn't chase 10 animals at once. It picks one. Step 3, rebuild now. Start small. Micro wins lead to macro results. If you're tired, don't try to fix your whole life in a week. Just aim to do one thing consistently. Read 1 page. Do 1 workout. Wake up at the same time. Small consistency creates trust with yourself, and that trust is the foundation of high performance. Transition. But what if your problem isn't energy? What if it's fear? Because sometimes performance doesn't fade from exhaustion, it fades from doubt. Section 5, the fear of falling behind. Let's be honest, sometimes the hardest part about performing isn't the task itself, it's the pressure to be good at it. You start a project and before you even begin, you're already thinking, what if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I'm not as good as I used to be? That fear becomes mental noise, and that noise kills flow. You can't perform your best when you're trapped in comparison. And the sad truth is, we compare more now than ever before. Every scroll shows someone doing more, earning more, achieving more. But what you never see are the days they wanted to quit, the nights they cried, the months they felt exactly like you do right now. The difference? They kept moving, slowly. Because real performance isn't about never falling. It's about learning to get up quietly, without hating yourself for falling in the first place. Transition. And if you want to truly perform again, you have to rebuild trust with yourself. Let's talk about how. Section 6, the science of self-trust. Every time you say you'll do something and you don't, your brain learns not to believe you. That's why it's so hard to stay consistent. But the reverse is also true. Every time you keep a small promise, even something simple like making your bed, your brain rebuilds confidence. You prove again and again, I can rely on myself. That's the secret to high performance. Not motivation, not discipline, but self-trust. When you trust yourself, you stop negotiating with your mind. You simply act. And action creates momentum, the ultimate fuel for performance. So, start tiny. Set a goal you can't fail. And when you achieve it, let your brain feel that small win. That's how confidence grows. Slowly, silently, consistently. Transition. But even with trust, there's one final enemy of performance left. One that quietly ruins millions of people's potential. It's called dopamine burnout. Section 7. Dopamine and focus. Every like, every scroll, every new piece of content you consume releases dopamine. That's not bad. Dopamine drives motivation. But when you flood your brain with it constantly, real life starts to feel dull. That's why focusing feels hard. Why reading a book feels boring. Why working on a long-term goal feels like climbing a mountain. You've trained your brain to crave instant rewards, not effort. To fix that, you have to recalibrate your dopamine. Here's how. Take breaks from screens for a few hours daily. Stop multitasking. One task, full focus. Delay gratification. Do the hard thing first. Reward yourself later. At first, it feels uncomfortable, but soon your brain starts to enjoy effort again. And when effort feels good, performance becomes effortless. Transition. So, where does all this lead? What's the ultimate goal of high performance? It's not working harder, it's living deeper. Section 8. The art of sustainable performance. The most successful people aren't the ones who never stop. They're the ones who know when to stop. They move with rhythm, not force. They understand that growth happens in cycles. Focus, effort, rest, reflection. You're not meant to perform at 100% every day. You're meant to perform with balance. And when you finally understand that, you stop fighting yourself. You start flowing with yourself. That's where real greatness begins. Closing. So if you're struggling right now, if your mind feels heavy, your motivation feels gone, and your performance feels low, remember this. You're not broken, you're just rebuilding. And every great performer, every thinker, every achiever has stood exactly where you stand now. Take a breath, slow down, and start again, gently. Because real performance isn't measured by speed. It's measured by consistency, by the quiet moments when no one's watching, but you keep showing up anyway. Call to action. If this video helped you, take a moment, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who's been feeling stuck.